how gifted, every writer needs someone to tweak and mold their words to be clear and concise. In this career, being detail-oriented and knowledgeable in a variety of subjects are key. Let's meet an editor. Hi, I'm Brian.
Welcome to the newspaper.
Thanks.
Come on back to the office.
Great.
I'm Robert Brown, the managing editor of the Dawson Creek Mirror. An editor is somebody who works with words and pictures and determines where and what and how many of them and spelled correctly and that they make sense to everybody. If all of a sudden, in this day and age, a tweet comes off that is news related, well, then jump into action. Sometimes the stories come in on their own. We're looking at it. We're going to decide what the paper is going to look like and what the page is going to hold that day and how the story is going to present with it. Be it great photos, do we use graphic work? That's what the editor's up to, and working something through the process and getting it from, an idea to a story to a draft to on the page and then to somebody reading and hopefully eliciting a response.
Here we've got a first draft of the layout, and you're marking right onto it what needs to be changed.
You bet. The things that need to be changed, added to, or deleted in some cases, or just moved around depending on the flow and the theme of the page at hand. Proofreading is the bread and butter of editors and newspapers in general. I decided very early on that I could get stories on entertainment, so I did a lot of movie reviews, and that led to news positions, and then that led to editor positions, and here we are.
So you've got a lot of publication, and you've got a lot of different subject matter. How important is it to be educated in each of those subjects?
Well, it's important to be well-read and well-defined and well-rehearsed in all the subjects that you're going to be talking about, be it coverage, because what you're doing is writing a story for readers that may have no knowledge of any of the topics that they're talking about and that they're reading about, and they want to know more. You have to have a great attention to detail. You're talking about stories, looks of the product and the craft that you're putting into the newspaper. Depending on the position, 35 to 40 hours a week, but there's always overtime because news happens when you don't plan it. There's a few ways you can go about it. You can go to a college and there's journalism programs that are 2 or 3 years and they teach you how to use a lot of pagination programs from Quark Express to InDesign and PageMaker to new updated versions of Photoshop. The skills are, as an editor, and where to go after that, be it journalism or somewhere else, are very transferable, be it on air and on camera. You can be editing play scripts or telescripts, novels. There's lots of variety right now in this day and age for editors of all types.
There always is a lot going on, so you've got to be good at multitasking.
Absolutely. There's a lot going on in the communities, a lot going on news-related that necessarily isn't product-related. And at the same time, we have potential stories that sometimes they're just not news or they're not newsworthy. And a lot of that is going on as well on the day-to-day. It's a very public job, both in the newspaper in the old format and now on Facebook and online. Everything you do is a public move.
So here's where we get to see from the reporter's notebook to the finished product.
You bet. From the notes that they're taken, tips that are given that come into the office, to the assignment, to the photography, to everything. The most rewarding part is when you see the final product and the finished product, and it's out in the community, and it's filled with community information, for the city to learn about themselves, and as well as for advertisers to help get their message out as well as ours. Joining newspapers, joining campus radio stations, school newsletters are fantastic ways to get your craft out there and get some feedback from readers that may not know you and may not like what you're going to say or may absolutely love what you're going to say. I think that's the best way to get started really early on in this profession.
Thank you so much for showing me around today.
Thanks for stopping by. I hope you learned something.
I did. Take care.
Have a good one.
Once again, I'm Brian for Career Trek, reminding you that this career could be yours. See you next time.